Hey children, I am going to take 9th standard history. Today's lesson is evolution of humans and the society prehistoric period. Evolution means growth or development. We live in the age of information technology. This development did not emerge all of a sudden. The development process came from our ancestors because prehistoric peoples were pioneer of creative knowledge. Now go to the lesson. Origin of the earth and geological ages. The history of humans closely related to history of the earth. The earth contains geological, biological, archaeological records of historical times. Paleoanthropologists and archaeologists excavate the soil layers on the earth and extract the evidence of prehistorical period. We understand the evolution of history and development in the chronological order. Next, archaeology. Archaeology is the study of past. Paleoanthropology is the study of human ancestors with the fossil remains. How was the earth formed? The earth was formed 4.5 billion years ago. Gradually, conditions emerged for the growth of organisms. Then, plants and animals came into being and the evolution of humans. Next, Australopithecines. Australopithecines were apes from which modern humans evolved. Australopithecines are close relatives of modern humans. Now, the age of speculation. The humans are the only species on earth concerned with understanding as well as explaining the world and the universe. They turned curious and began to think and ask questions about nature, organisms and the world around them. They considered nature as God. They worshipped sun, moon and different natural forces. Next, scientific foundation of geology, biology and archaeology. The beginning of history writing can be traced to the ancient Greeks. Herodotus is considered the father of history. The rise of scientific enquiry into the origin of human was possible because of the interest in collection of archaeological remains and the opening of museums after the Renaissance movement. Renaissance means a Reformation movement. Second, the development of the ideas of stratigraphy and geology. Darwin theory of biological evolution. The discovery of human and animal fossils, stone tools and artifact of the early civilizations and the ability to decipher early scripts. Artifacts means things that archaeologists excavate during the excavation. Excavation means digging the earth. That process is called excavation. Next, stratigraphy. Stratigraphy is a study of origin, nature and relationships of rocks and soil layers. Next, oldest museum. The museum of Enkigaldi Nanna in Mesopotamia was established in 530 BC. BCE, that means before Common Era. The Capitoline Museum in Italy is oldest surviving museum. It is formed 1471 CE. Next, Ashmolean Museum at Oxford University is the oldest university museum in the world. It was established in 1677 CE. CE means a common era. Herbert Spencer and Charles Darwin theory on concept of natural selection and survival of the fittest. Natural selection means the process by which organisms that are better adapted to their environment would survive and produce more offspring. Survival of fittest means survival of the form that will leave the most copies of itself in the successive generations. This too contributed to the scientific understanding of human origins. Charles Darwin published the books on the origin of species in 1859 and the descent of man in 1871. Next, fossils.
What is a fossil? A fossil is the preserved remains or imprint in a rock of a plant or animal, usually one that lived a long time ago. Many of the fossils discovered so far are ancestors of organisms living today, whilst some fossils are the remains of organisms that still exist. The study of fossils is called paleontology. The total number of fossils and their placement within rocks is known as the fossil record. Much of what we understand about evolution comes from studying fossils, so they are really important. But how do they form? When animals or plants die, their remains usually decay to nothing. It is only if the conditions are right that they can be preserved as fossils. The best way to create a fossil is to trap and quickly bury a dead organism. The dead remains of animals and plants that fall to the river or sea floors get covered in layers of sediment. Over time, this sediment sinks as it is buried deeper by increasing layers. Meanwhile, minerals permeate through the sediment and gradually recrystallize the non-decomposed remains. This process is called permineralization. In some cases, the whole skeleton eventually dissolves, leaving a space in the sediment which becomes filled with mineral deposits in the exact shape of the original structure. In this way, a cast of the original structure is created. Eventually, the pressure exerted on the lower layers of sediment is sufficient to turn it into rock. Millions of years later, this rock may rise to the Earth's surface, where erosion and earthquakes eventually expose the fossil. While whole body fossils can be created in this way, and so can trace fossils. Trace fossils are the fossilized remains of things animals or plants have left behind. This includes footprints, tracks, dung, and even lightning strikes. Another way to create a fossil is by covering a specimen with a non-porous coating.
This means prehistoric animal and plant turns into stone over a long period because of chemical and physical process. Next, prehistoric period. Prehistory is the earliest period of human history because there is no recorded history about this period. Prehistory can be classified as Stone Age, Bronze Age and Iron Age. Stone Age subdivided into Old Stone Age and New Stone Age. This period, people used only stone to making implements. Second one, Bronze Age. Bronze Age, otherwise called Copper Age. This period, people used bronze to making implements. Third one is Iron Age. This period, people used only iron to make household articles and agricultural implements. Now, I conclude the topic. In next class, we will see about human evolution and migration. Thank you all.